All right, everybody who's in right now, stay tuned for the live Cleve and Me Mania 40th prediction and preview show. We will play a quick video. We will get the rest of the guests in the house. We have people going to Mania tomorrow, literally Alex, who's going to be joining me here shortly, amongst many others. We have people in Philly. We'll have people over here talking in Chicago about every match. We'll give you our surprises and much more. But until we get a couple more guests, let's just enjoy a quick video and we will get this show on the road.
God, seems like 1,000 years ago. I fought my way out of that cave, became Iron Man. Realized I loved you. I know I said no more surprises, but I was really hoping to pull off one last one.
The world has changed. None of us can go back. All we can do is best. And sometimes the best we can do is to start over.
I saw all these people die. I keep telling everybody they should move on. Someday, but not us.
Even if there's a small chance, we owe this to everyone who's not in this room to try.
We will. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
There's nothing better than a game. Great tasting Miller Lite. It's my spill.
And right when you're about to cross the finish line and finish your story, oh wait, what's that in the distance? It's a much bigger superstar that hasn't been around in a very long time, coming to take it all away from you.
You smell what the Rock is cooking.
But the fact that Dwayne is in the main event of WrestleMania next year, and that makes me sick.
I have to finish the story.
Ever since I could remember, everything inside.
Yeah, he's a son of a plumber, he's a common man, he's all those things to me. He was my hero. Yes, I cannot physically put that title belt in my father's hands. I cannot bestow it upon the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, but I certainly can put it around the waist of the American Nightmare. I'm going to do it for me. I'm going to do it for my family, and I'm going to do it for you.
I'm only a man with a game. I'm taking a step to escape. A monster, I turned into a monster, and it keeps getting stronger.
To finish the story.
We're back, and we all know how that's last year's Mania ended, sadly, with a 3-2-1, 1-2-3 pin in the ring by Roman Reigns, who has now been champion for, I mean, he's going to break every record in the book. I'm pretty sure he's only short of the likes of Hulk Hogan and a couple of others. Bruno Sammartino has been along the way as well. So there's been great records, things done. And, be stupid to not start with the main event match. I know we have so many to cover. By the way, we are going to cover every match. We're going to give you our prediction. Everybody will have a surprise, and then we'll get the hell out of here, as I appreciate the people helping me along the way. If you've listened to Cleve and Me in the past, which shame on you if you haven't, you can follow us at Cleve and Me on Twitter. You could search Cleve and Me on YouTube and others. You'll notice Cleve is not here today. He's a working man, but that's why I got great crew members who have been on the show millions and millions of times in the past. Speaking Tampa Tones is one of the co-hosts, Marcel, KC4L Wrestling Takes, and then Alex from Row 7. There's been many of times. Thank you as well. We'll keep it live in the chat. Mysterious Black, always a great member. Shout out for watching the show. J-Lo, I posted your predictions today on at Cleve and Me. And amongst everybody else who joins, we'll be shouting it out. Give us comments, give us crap. When you disagree, please let us know. We're here to say it. I don't think us four are going to agree the whole episode. As much as we like each other, we know that ain't just possible. There's so many things that could be happening. But before we get into it more, I need to shut up because I talk too much. That's the Italian stallion in me. I'm hoping Rocky Balboa shows up in Philly at some point in time. Maybe a little promo after Meek Mill does Dreams and Nightmares. Talk about getting the bones rattled right there. But let's go around the room. Besides the main event, because we're going to talk about it so much and we're probably going to drive people nuts. Alex, I'll start with you. Tones, then Marcella, as we came through here on my feed. Give me a match. And then the harder part for Tampa Tones and Marcel, once somebody uses a match, you cannot use that one any longer. So you might have one now, but Alex might take it. I'll go last to make it most fair. Alex, where are you going? And you're going to Mania literally in the morning. How excited are you? And just give it to us, so your emotion and what match you would like to see besides the main event.
Well, thank you first and foremost for having me on the pod. Always love talking some wrestling, and going to Mania tomorrow is definitely I'm shaking at the moment right now, quite honestly. But jumping into it, I think probably the match that I'm most intrigued by, quite honestly, is Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch. That the storyline has kind of intensified as of late, and I know it's very kind of I guess stereotypical to kind of say Cody and Roman Reigns, but I'm really intrigued with that match, and I think, I don't know if you want a prediction or not, but I got
a spoiler.
A spoiler. Okay, I guess I wasn't ready for that, but I was just kind of going like,
no, I'm kidding.
Sorry, what was that? I didn't catch that.
What do you got for that match overall happening? You can give it to us right now.
I'm gonna say that that Rhea takes it and Becky goes away for a little while. Potentially goes to AEW. There's a hot take.
Wow, you are that hot takes coming in after we already had CM Punk and Edge do enough back and forth yesterday between Ariel Helwani interviews, which honestly I don't think I'm going to get fully into, because that will probably take up a half hour of the show and we have to predict the matches. Now, if we can get through the match card fast and I can shut up, then we can maybe get to all the fun stuff that went down yesterday and today at Wrestle World. Okay, Tones, over to you, my man. Always a part of the show and one of my co-hosts. Give me a match you're looking forward to, and how the heck are you doing tonight?
Yeah, I was wondering if I was ever going to get to tap in here. This is a one-man tag team match, I'm guessing, but some of my favorites are on. Aru, Alex Ruiz, my man Marcel. Always a pleasure to talk to each of you guys. I see my man Mysterious Black in the chat, J-Lo in the chat, so great time to talk some wrestling. And, of course, my co-host, Stunna, bumbling his way in. So really fun crew here, really great time here, and Mania has a lot of good matches, a lot of good ones, so you're making us pick just one. That's pretty rude of you, to be quite honest. But if I had to go with,
you're usually the heel.
No, that's what I'm saying. Pretty rude of you to make us just pick one, but that's all good. Neither here nor there. Roman versus Cody would be the basic choice, and then the tag team would probably be the basic choice, because it does have The Rock in the match. Roman versus Cody, phenomenal choice as well. Hard to choose. Gunther, Sammy. I'm not picking that as my must-watch match, but that is my most under-the-table, underrated match right there. Sami Zayn against Gunther. I think that's going to be incredible for the Intercontinental Championship, doing a lot of good things there. If I have to go with one match, though, just to pick above the rest, I'm going to ultimately, the Becky one's good. Give me, I can't pick Io Sky versus Bayley. I'm sorry. I'm going to go with Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, Logan Paul. Triple threat. There's some history there with Randy Orton. There's kind of the modern day man in Kevin Owens, and there's kind of the up and comer Hollywood star in Logan Paul. So you get a little bit of fire from all angles there, a little bit of good from all aspects. And like we talked about last week or last show, time freaking flies, whatever the hell it might have been at this point. But they added that third in for a reason, right? They added Randy in for a reason, whether he's to absorb the pinfall. They might not want to pin KO or Logan Paul, so they add in Randy Orton, but at the same time, they might want to elevate Logan Paul as well. And, beating two guys like Randy Orton and Kevin Owens would certainly do that for your resume. So it could go multiple ways. If Logan Paul loses a belt, he surely isn't going to get pinned, though. But if he wins, mightily impressive. Randy Orton, Kevin Owens there. And my surprise for that match is his brother shows up, Jake Paul, and we got a Paul affair, and it's Paul Ball, we'll call it, and I think he'll play a role in that match and either help him win the match or more so maybe screw him over. We'll see. I don't know.
Well, and he's already shown up at One Mania before, so that's very possible. Marcel, you always have the best background in the game. The WrestleMania Philly belt is up. How the heck you doing? And what's a match you're looking at outside the main event?
Well, first and foremost, I appreciate the invite, Joe. Always, fellas, Alex, Tons, and Top of Stunners. It's a pleasure to be on this broadcast with you all. The one matchup I'm actually looking forward to is the brothers going at it, Jimmy and Jey Uso. And the reason
you just took mine.
The reason why is because I was actually expecting Rikishi to be the special guest referee. So I don't know if he's going to show up, but I'm actually going with Jay to win because Jay been getting screwed ever since he came back. Like every time he's about to win something, who screws him over? Jimmy. Remember, he was going to win the championship against Roman. It didn't work. Who screwed him over? Jimmy. Over and over and over again. So I'm going to go with Jay to get his revenge on his brother. But like I said, I actually was looking forward to seeing if Rikishi was going to get involved. But that's the one I'm looking forward to the most outside of the obvious main event matches on night 1 and night 2. But, that's just me.
I try to tell what'd you say?
Rikishi, stink face. Let's go.
Rhea Ripley's been doing it, so which is a way more beautiful scene than Rikishi. Sorry, Rikishi, I love you, but when Rhea Ripley does it, it has a little bit more effect than when you do it so much. But at the same time, I'm thinking about Jimmy and Jey Uso. As I tell Tones, my older brother always comes out on top. Now at this Mania, I'm a little scared that might not be the face of the situation. But just because Jey Uso's bigger, just because the Bucketeers podcast is bigger, older brother is always older, and that can never change. So let me tell you something. Let me talk to you.
A one-off.
Let me talk to you, Tampa Tones, because at the end of the day, that's one thing you can't take away from me is me having a little bit more insight and being a little bit older. I won't say wiser because that'll probably turn into a 15-minute argument. But I'm going to invite Tampa Stunna in here. Stunna, I'm glad that you joined the show, man. Hope all is well. What are you looking forward to outside the main event at WrestleMania?
I'm about that Naomi life, man, because, Sasha Banks ain't with us no more. Shit, Naomi, my girl, man. And, I like the ladies. I think RK Bro. I miss RK Bro. Shoot, man. I'm just looking forward to
right there, you're gonna get Naomi, Jade Cargill, and Bianca Belair on the same team, which you want to talk about domination.
Oh, Lordy, I don't know if I'll be able to walk.
Well, it sounds like you can't walk because it sounds like you're in the Thunderdome of the COVID era with the background going through right there. But don't worry, Stunna. Take a seat, sit in a recliner, enjoy the show how you please. I'm not going to say how anybody should be enjoying their time. That is a great match. I'm seriously, though, looking forward to it from that perspective. I know Jade Cargill's been great. She was the TBS champion in AEW, but the bright lights are on in her first match at WrestleMania, which is going to be, wow, Stunna said, you know what, I can't wait till Mania. I'm out of here now after he talked about Naomi and everybody else. But getting back to the main card itself, because I said we'll come back to the main event, I want to pose a question out there, and then we'll get into our predictions right off the bat. We'll start hot and heavy with night one main event. We'll go into night two. Before we get into our predictions, though, I want you guys to think about, does Cody Rhodes have to win this match in order for him to win a champ? Like, meaning if he does not win this match, his championship chances should be done. It shouldn't happen anywhere else, no matter when people say Dusty won it at Madison Square Garden or, you know, Mania, it doesn't have to be there, blah, blah, blah. Is this the last true final chance? It's fight number 2. I want to, because I think I know where a lot of people might go. A lot of rivalries, a lot of matches have 3. It's usually a trilogy. You look back with Cody and Seth, Cody swept that series. You look back at Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, they've wrestled, I think now 3 times, way more than 3, but they had WrestleMania matches going all the way back to 2015. We're on round 2 of Cody and Roman, but if Cody loses, he's 0-2 at the main event of WrestleMania, which my other counter to that, my point would be, why would you have a third WrestleMania one day with them two if you already have 2 main events? I mean, that's enough love shed. Roman's been in like a decade's worth of main events. Marcel, I'm going to start with you. Do you think Cody has to finish the story here and win this title? Otherwise, it's just a waste of our time, simply.
I'm going to be 100% with y'all. I have not enjoyed this Cody run. I'll be honest. You know me, I prefer heel Cody. That is me. I always enjoyed his heel work. But you know what? It's time. It's time for him to go ahead and get the belt so we get this stuff over with, because it's been dragged on way too long. Like I said, trust me, I'm a bloodline guy through and through. I've been rolling with them since, 2020 is when he first got the championship. So, yeah, I'm with you, Joe. It's time. Because like I said, I heard about them possibly pushing this streak all the way to Madison Square Garden. But now, with all the shenanigans, especially with Rock coming back and all this, I said, no, ain't nowhere in the world he loses. It makes no sense now. It's like he got to go over now. He just has to.
And if people remember, before Tones goes, then Alex, the first time Roman came back, the Fiend was the champion against Braun Strowman, and Roman Reigns came in and beat the crap out of him. And that's when Wreck Everyone and Leave with Paul Heyman and all that. By the way, shout out Paul Heyman. He'll be getting inducted tomorrow. Deservedly so. ECW Philly's going to be wild. But that's where his reign started in 2020. We're still in 2024 now, and he's the champion. Alex, how about yourself on this? What do you think? Does he have to finish the story this Sunday?
I think so, because if not, I think you're going to lose a lot of people. I mean, if you're talking going 3 years of repeating the same thing, because how much can the story change? He gets screwed out of it again. Like, I would certainly not be interested in WrestleMania again next year. I mean, look at what's happened in the past with like your Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns. You know, you got the entire crowd booing the entire match. If you get that 3 years in a row, you're going to get that with Roman and Cody, guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
Tones, we remember that well. That was our first pay-per-view really getting back. Well, I should say mine. And when the booing happened, what do you think? Are you in agreement with Marcel and Alex here?
I think overall in the world of wrestling, there's no such thing as too many matches, because we got to remember, this is, as real as wrestling is, it isn't real fighting. So you could come up with proper storylines any point in time and come up with something compelling. But right here, right now, this is already fan forced. The fans have already forced this. We know it was supposed to be The Rock versus Roman at this Mania, and the fans had a big say in Cody Rhodes getting to face Roman Reigns at this Mania. It was reported by many outlets that The Rock and Roman were going to end up squaring off. Was that to cover up the Vince stuff? Who knows? Was it to, Rock buying XFL, combining it with the UFL, get The Rock more notoriety? There's a lot of rumors out there. But at the end of the day, one thing we know it's true, Rock and Roman were set to square off.
It's damn true.
Now that Cody is in that match, I don't think you have much of a choice. Although I think it would be the epic thing to do to have Roman Reigns win the match, I think the reaction would be insane. I think it'd be a lot of crazy shenanigan reactions going on. You'd have certain people crying. But at the end of the day, you know, they already got their hand forced this much. They can't go back. They got to have Cody finish the story now. They already had the fans push him, push him, push him. You've seen how the fans reacted just when The Rock came out. You know, it took social media by storm. Imagine if he lost this match. They might be canceled by Raw on Monday. You never know what might happen. So, you know, you have a lot of fans out there that have big voices on social media, and I think Cody has to win. But wrestling, you know, there's really no set number on matches in wrestling. This one, time's expiring. Cody needs to win. And as Marcel said, I'm going to be honest, I'll be really happy when this storyline's over. A lot of people are just, you know, they're taking this Cody Rhodes stuff a little too far.
You know what? Nah. I will be taking it too far. I got my hair
Didn't you
dyed.
buy, like, blonde hair gel
I got my
made in
hair
China?
dyed right here.
You know that
for
thing's gonna, like,
Saturday.
You're going to wake up bald. You're going to wake up bald.
I'll look like Paul Heyman. I don't care what I look like. This hair dye on Saturday is going in my hair. I'm going to finish the story with Cody Rhodes, and I'm going to whimper like a little baby as I sit there with my belt singing Adrenaline.
What does the label say on that?
I can't read the label. I got it from Amazon. It got good ratings.
That's not a good sign. If you can't read the label, that's probably not a great sign.
It doesn't matter what you think. And getting
what are you, Cody Rhodes or The Rock? Come on.
I'm split. I'm like the guy from Split. I have multiple different personalities going on here. We didn't talk about the first match as much yet. I'm going to predict. I think what's going to happen is this. I think on night one, where Alex and Christian, shout out Christian in the chat as well, and Andrew Hernandez, Emad, who our buddy Emad actually met Ali, formerly known as Mustafa Ali, last night. Which is a really cool thing. So that's awesome. But night one, I think what's going to happen is Rock and Roman are going to come out winning. I don't think The Rock's signing up for a match where he loses, especially since he's not in the main event on Sunday. They have so many main events these days, it's hard to keep track. But on night one, where it is taking place, I think they have to win because what I see and envision at the end of the day and what they're talking about Sunday morning, the pre-show, how is Cody going to win with bloodline rules? How in the world can Cody, you know, you have to take, I was talking with Alex before the show last year and make the second round better, which is hard to do. In movies, it's hard to do. Rocky's actually one of the few movies where maybe the second one is better than the first, but it's very hard to make the second time better than the first. And I think the only way you can really do that is making it even harder on Cody. First time around, it was supposed to just be Roman. Obviously, Solo came in with the thumb, and the rest is history. But in this match, there's going to be bloodline rules. I think The Rock, obviously Jimmy, Solo. I think other family members, older or younger, not really sure, will show up, and it will be all odds are against them. And then Cody will have, I'll save that for my surprise later, a lot of help along the way. But the story going into Sunday, to me, Alex, is that it's going to be damn near impossible with bloodline rules for Cody Rhodes to come out as champion. Let's say you.
I think so. I think the fact that they introduced bloodline rules a number of weeks ago or a month or so ago, if that wasn't going to happen to Cody Rhodes, they would have never brought this up in the first place. So there's no doubt in my mind that he's losing night one, and he's going to have to climb the tallest mountain night two to reach the pinnacle and, you know, get the 3 count on Roman Reigns. But I think the deck is going to be certainly stacked against him. So 100% they're losing Saturday night. And it might even be because of Seth Rollins turning on him, quite honestly.
Well, and you know what? That's a great point. Marcel then to Tones. We keep, you know, I think most of us are probably going to agree Rock and Roman's going to win this match. But give me something more. I like how he said Seth's going to turn. Marcel, what do you think, Seth Rollins? Is he going to play more of a factor on night? Because he's wrestling night 2. So is he going to play a more factor on night 1 and do something bad to Cody, you think, or wait till night 2? Where do you see that going?
See, right now, Seth Rollins, his mind all over the place. He's trying to focus on his tag team match when he got his championship match right at the beginning, because it sounds like that match going to kick off night 2. Correct. So his mind is everywhere. You don't know which way he's going to go. You don't know if he's really on board with Cody, because remember, Cody beat that man 3 times. He beat him 3 times, so it really don't make no sense for him to even tag up with him. Why in the world would you tag up with the guy that beat you 3 times over and over and over again? Now you trying to help this man, quote unquote, take out the biggest guy in the whole company right now. So it's a possibility he might turn, he might not. We don't know yet, but I'm with you all. Bloodline rules, they go over on night 1, and then all the stack is going to be stacked against Cody. They get ready to try to pull some kind of end game stuff. You ever seen the Marvel film?
Yeah, I've been playing that all day.
Infinity War, and now we get ready to get end game. I'm telling you, you're going to see a whole bunch of cats come out because it's going to look like Cody, his back is against the wall. Like he really has no help. Then out of nowhere, all these other cats that you weren't even thinking about going to come out of nowhere. It's going to be some crazy stuff, I expect. And we know 2 of them. They showed you, I don't know if y'all caught the episode of Raw when they was out this way.
Yeah,
Rock was standing outside the truck, and on the truck, it was 2 faces on the side of that truck. It was only 2. And they specifically showed those 2 faces for a reason. Those 2 are pulling up. I know they are.
And hey, you know what? You can link that with history too. Rock all the way back to the late 90s, early 2000s with Stone Cold Steve Austin and John Cena back-to-back WrestleManias.
Bingo.
Tones, percent chances, because it seems low, percent chances Seth and Cody do walk out victorious. And what can you see mixing up in that night 1 main event?
If they walk out victorious night 1, that's bad for them night 2. We know how wrestling works. They put you at your lowest of lows before you get to your highest of highs. So in order for Cody to be victorious night number 2, he's going to have to take a big loss night number 1. And I think I agree with Marcel, Alex, and honestly all you guys a little bit. I think we have a possibility of Seth Rollins turning heel. There's been a lot to his character that says, hey, why are him and Cody supposed to be buddies? As Marcel said, Cody beat him a lot of times. Excuse me. And I think that he's going to turn on Cody eventually, probably that night. That would be a very good start. But I think that the Bloodline wins that match. Rock is back for a reason. He's not even fighting night number 2. You want to let The Rock at least get a little bit of glory and a little bit of shine for all that he's doing for these WrestleMania storylines. I mean, let's be honest. As great as Cody is, a lot of people are here for The Rock.
Yes.
We see it in the chat alone right now. J-Lo, Christian Ruiz, a lot of people are here for The Rock. So, in all honesty, I think they lose night number 1. I think it could be a bloodbath in terms of bad things happening to each of them, specifically Cody. I could definitely see Seth turning. And you never know who might show up to have Cody Rhodes back. We know it probably won't be Ted DiBiase Jr. as he's in jail right now, I believe. But, you know, other than that, you never know who might show up. No, I'm serious. I think the guy got, you know,
you think the $1 million man going to show up out of nowhere? That was just your heel mode moment.
No, Cody Rhodes and him were original partners in Legacy way back in the day. So,
yeah,
you know, you got to remember that. But you know, you never know. I heard the truck rumor as well, and a lot of people are running with that. I will say WWE, AEW, they do both have a lot of outdated trucks as well. So you never know if that just happened to be a coincidence or what. I know Cena's confirmed to be there in some sort of capacity, but he's confirmed not to have physical involvement there either. So I don't know. If Cena shows up, he might be a distraction. He ain't going to get involved physically, though. I know they're trying to save him for something he's filming right now. And, yeah, we'll see what happens. Stone Cold and Cena could surely play a part in the match, but I think Stone Cold has a better chance to play a part in that match than Cena. I don't really, you know, I know Cena and Rock were rivals before as well, but he doesn't really fit into that storyline much, John Cena. Stone Cold would make more sense. I don't really get the Cena angle because, you know, yeah.
Cena lost to Roman. Cena lost to Roman last year at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I know, but it's not like that was a huge, big thing or big story.
Oh, it was big. It's John Cena's a Mount Rushmore. Okay,
and don't forget, he got destroyed by Solo. Solo over at, what was that, Crown Jewel, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah,
Solo beat. Sent him packing, so he definitely coming. I can definitely see him coming. Trust me.
It was so short. Him and Roman's rivalry was so short, though. I don't know. We'll see. I could see it happening, but again, we'll see what happens.
Over undertones and go around the room quickly. 50 minutes for Sunday night's main event.
Way under.
Marcel,
Under.
Alex.
We're gonna hit the hour mark in that match.
I'm going to go over as well because I think there's just going to be so much interference. You know, you're going to get Rock and Cody. The ref's going to somehow maybe with the Mama's Boy belt as Rock hit last. I'll tell you what, before we move on, because we have so many matches, we're already a half hour in. Jeez Louise, time flies. The Rock has just been taking this to, I know they call it the Renaissance era right now, but he's going back to the Attitude Era with his swearing live on TV. I love how he brought up the kids crying from social media. You know, the belt, the blood, he took it. He had his own camera crew out there to go past Monday Night Raw and take it another step. It has been insane. Like Tones, he is the most famous guy in the world. So even if the Cody crybabies like myself, The Rock is the biggest name in this thing, even though he is not the champion like Roman, his cousin, who was the face for the past 5 to 10 years. Even though he is not Cody Rhodes, who's made one of the biggest comeback stories of all time, maybe from where he started in WWE. Don't get it twisted. The Rock is the biggest name. He's the most popular guy in the world, and there is a reason he's back involved in great shape at the age of 50, unlike some of these older guys who try to come back. He's truly in the I think he was training with Bobby Roode and others. It was reported he has one ring in LA and another in his another home spot. So he's been killing the game. A match you brought up, Tones, that I do want to get to. I know you predicted it. Alex, where is your head at on the triple threat between Logan Paul, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton? Because to me, I'm almost thinking, why did we have, you know, you could easily put Logan versus KO or Logan versus Randy, and that would have been big enough, in my opinion. But they decided to make it a triple threat. So that makes me think, kind of like Tones was saying, okay, is Kevin Owens in this because maybe Randy pins him and it loses Logan the belt? Or are they really trying to build Logan so high that they say, hey, Logan took out KO and Randy, two great wrestlers?
I think that's a strong possibility. I could potentially see Randy Orton and or Kevin Owens winning the belt, but I think the heel wins in this fight by some type of shady, what's that other buddy of Logan Paul's, KSI or
KSI, yep.
Yeah. He gets involved too, probably takes like a stunner from somebody, but like that just causes a distraction, and I think heel wins in this one. Logan Paul goes over.
How about you, Marcel?
They did this match because they didn't want LA Knight to lose to Logan Paul. Think about it.
No, I because that was the original rumor that was
that was the original goal. But then I was thinking about it. I said, I don't think Triple H want Logan Paul to lose 2 years in a row at WrestleMania. That's what I was saying at the beginning of the year. I was like, I don't know. So then AJ Styles came out of nowhere. So now we got AJ Styles and Logan Paul. I mean, my bad. LA Knight. I said, okay, Logan Paul is definitely retaining. So that's why they got 3. I mean, they got 2 of the legends in there. So they got, like you said, he went over 2 legends, and now it's like we up in the ante on Logan. They building Logan Paul's stack, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I definitely, as Tones mentioned, Jake Paul, and Alex mentioned KSI. He also has theory on, even though they're involved in the match, but he's had them in the background as well with Grayson Waller. So he has allegiances where Randy is a legend killer. There's not many people there. And then KO, he makes a lot of enemies, even his best friend, Sami Zayn, at times. So I do think Logan Paul is going to retain. A good call on what last year he fought Seth Rollins at Mania, correct?
Yep.
It was a good match, but obviously they needed Seth Rollins to get a win there. I think the same for Logan Paul now, as he will walk out U.S. champion. And I'm glad, let me talk to you, can't lose, because to me, the first title match he has outside of Universal needs to be a win. Mm-hmm. Tones, you already talked on the match and where you think it was heading, so you could wrap up that one. But then also I want to talk about and get right into, to me, what is the best women's match of the night, which will be Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch.
Yeah, the Kevin Owens one, I'm obviously pulling for KO. I hope he wins. He deserves to win. Let's be honest. WWE needs to put the belt on that man more. The things he does for the company, his skill set in the ring, his mic skills, he is a great wrestler. But they do have an obsession with the Logan Paul movement, it seems, and they do everything they can to keep the belt on Logan. I don't really see Randy Orton winning it in this scenario. You know, as much as I love Randy, I see Logan Paul taking it home. I can't see him losing it really, unless he goes on a hiatus after Mania. You never know. He has a lot of things to do, a lot of endeavors to fulfill. He could lose it and go on a hiatus after Mania, so that's always an option, I guess. But in terms of overall in the match, I'd say Logan Paul 80% chance, if not KO, gets a lucky win. And you know, Logan would probably disappear for a while if Logan loses. And women's match, very much so looking forward to that. I had another thought as I continue to look at the card. I know we talked about John Cena, his rumors a little bit. Haven't seen Braun Breaker on the card unless I'm wrong.
No, he's not on the
No,
card.
he ain't on it.
And let's remember, when Brock Lesnar ran into some troubles, everyone was already proclaiming him the next Brock Lesnar, saying he's going to fill in and do exactly what Lesnar does. He's going to be as great as Lesnar, this and that. Cena and Breaker just ended on real bad terms this past fall. I think him and Breaker had a little rivalry. I could see them trying to help put Braun Breaker over the top and get him to fulfill that Lesnar spot as well, and have Cena and Braun Breaker a little spot, because they ended on ugly terms in October or November, I believe that was.
Do we even have a host of this thing yet? I thought it was maybe going to be CM Punk. He sounds like he's not going to do it. John Cena. I don't think we have a host of WrestleMania yet.
No,
Isn't Punk announcing one of the matches?
Yeah, he's doing the World Heavyweight Championship match with Seth and Drew.
Yep, and
did you guys see too? Cody announced if he won, he's gonna make it just he's gonna not make it the Universal title anymore. So
it would be like I think he's gonna try to make it similar to like Dusty Rhodes when he had it. But they gotta, and to me on SmackDown tomorrow, because you're not gonna get a lot of people fighting in Mania fighting on that card. We get the Battle Royal. By the way, McAfee and Cole will go on an hour before SmackDown on the Cock Network. They will do a pre-show with a bunch of guests. Then it will be SmackDown. Then you head back to the Cock Network where you get the Hall of Fame. Muhammad Ali's going in. The Rock's grandmother going in the Hall of Fame. You also have Paul Heyman. And then I'll say the back half of the class as we get towards the show. But that's happening all tomorrow. We don't have so when you go around and predict tones, you still have Becky versus Rhea where you go in, and then do you have somebody who you think may host this thing? Maybe John Cena hosts this thing. I don't know.
I don't think they could take Rhea off her little run she's on right now. She's been on an incredible tear, and I remember Alex Ruiz was all over the Rhea movement years back, before she won the Rumble even, I remember. So kudos to Aru for being on that. But yeah, nice looking lady as well. I think she ultimately wins, and nothing against Becky. I like Becky. I'm a big Becky fan, but she's another one of those, they haven't seemed too urgent to put the belt back on her anytime soon. And they have a lot of little ones in the ring now. We've seen what ended happening to Maurice when her and The Miz started having kids. She had to disappear more and more and more. You got to grow up with your kids. Becky can't be around forever. It's going to be hard for me to believe that Becky and Seth would hold titles at the same time as Roman Reigns as well, so I don't think Becky wins, although I don't think Reigns is going to win either, but I don't think Becky wins. I think her and Seth are going to go home after a little bit, take a hiatus, be with the children. And yeah, I think somebody mentioned it earlier. She might be AEW bound. I don't know if that comes true, but that would be pretty cool. And you never know. They did just get Sasha Banks, so you never know. That could be a possibility.
As they do need new contracts, and simply not even, I'm going to give mine quick. Rhea, not because of what she's done, and I love Becky. She's my favorite woman wrestler, but Rhea Ripley's song will be live with music, the band that's playing for her. So usually when that happens too, that's another sign you're trying to pump her up even more than she already has. I'll go Rhea, even though go Becky. We want Becky. That's how I'm going. Marcel, then Alex.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Rhea retains. They've been pushing Becky with this book and everything, and I believe what they want to do, they want to try to create what Rhea and Charlotte did last year, because hands down, they had the best women's match on WrestleMania. Hands down, them two, they did wonders. I was very impressed with what they did. So Rhea and Becky are going to try to do the same thing, but I'm going with Rhea to retain as well. And you know what? That's a huge gamble about her possibly going to AEW. I was thinking about their contract situation. Where did both of them decide to go? You never know. I just want to say in the world of pro wrestling, you never know. It's just wait and see what happens. You know,
it's a giant revolve. That's what makes wrestling different and great because it's a revolving door, right? These guys just want to perform and get a paycheck, and gals, but you never know where they might. We've already seen Edge and Daniel Bryan go to AEW. Sasha Banks. We already seen Cody Rhodes. Oh my gosh!
If you would have told me if you would have told me 1 year ago that CM Punk would be throwing shade at AEW with WWE and Edge would be sticking up for AEW after leaving WWE, I would call you absolutely nuts. What we saw last night and what we can't really get into because of how much we already over talked on things, that is shocking enough. Alex, I'll give you 2 matches since we might get a clean sweep here with Rhea. Put it back to back with the other women's match. Is Io versus Bayley as easy to predict after you give your Rhea Becky?
Yeah, well, we know that Mommy's always on top, so that's a lock.
I like the bottom, so I'm all good with that. Anyway,
lock of the century. And in terms of flexing it over into the other women's match, I think you got to put it on Bayley, even though it's kind of been a terrible build for them, but it's only because they're on SmackDown and they're kind of they're certainly getting upstaged by The Rock and Roman Reigns. So,
yes.
No faults of their own, but I mean, it's just because they're on the brand right now. That's just being dominated by 2 megastars realistically. But I think Bayley goes over on that one. Io, she'll drop the title.
Yeah, and that's what somebody mentioned. I think I was busted open radio with her, like, Io and Bayley literally have a great rivalry going, but there's so much star power going on right now. That's what makes, to me, they always say every Mania is the best one ever. This really does have potential because how, first off, interesting, they made the main events on both nights. And then all these other matches, there's not one you can just really throw away too much, in my opinion, like you do on most cards where you go, all right, that's where I can maybe skip out. We could talk about more about that at the end. But I'm rooting for Bayley, and I do think Bayley wins. I think this is where Damage Control, they might have a whole lot of L's on this show after thinking, they let Bayley go, similar to when the Judgment Day let Edge go. They kept all the gold and got stronger. I think we might see some friction here. Bayley's been a great character since she's always been, but since she's gotten back from injury, she created Damage Control being the leader. I think she gets her vengeance and gets back to it. Let's say you, Marcel, and Tones.
Y'all, I'm going to be 100% with y'all about this. I've been going back and forth on this. I was sold that Bayley was going to win, but now the fact that, y'all know I call them damaged goods. They get ready. Obviously, they lose to Bianca and them. So I'm like, is Triple H going to bury the whole group, or is at least somebody going to get a victory? And so now I'm like, I don't know if I was sold Bayley was going to go over, but right now I don't know. I said, I'm going to go out on the limb and say Io retains. It could happen. She could lose, but I'm going on the limb and say Io retains the championship. And then this way Bayley can go on the chase,
I'm not going to lie. I almost switched my answer because that would be 0-2 for Damage Control, but I'm staying that way. Tones, over to you.
Going Bayley. I just think that she's done a lot and she deserves this Mania moment, I would say, more so than a lot of people on that roster. Bayley was one of the 4 horsewomen who came up, I believe, and the things that she's done for the women's division have truly been special, and I think she gets a rewarding moment here. What a better place to do it than WrestleMania, and I think they're going to give her moment in this night as well. I think it's a very given Mania. You finish Cody Rhodes' story, you write another chapter for the 4 horsewomen. Sure, why not?
Shout out, by the way, I was talking to my buddy Paul earlier from college. He thinks every championship will turn the other way at this Mania, literally every single one. He does not think one person will retain. Pretty bold prediction considering things are on the card. And where I'm going to go to now is this is a very toss-up match to me between Gunther and Sami Zayn, which a lot of people are calling what could be one of the best matches on the card because they're setting up, like, again, it's in Philly. Rocky 3, we all know how Apollo ends up helping Rocky out. Chad Gable has gotten Sami Zayn out of this funk where Sami thinks he's dead. People are so attached to Sami after the Bloodline story. Now, he's not finding his way, and Chad Gable got him back. He's training with him, building him up. Does he have what it takes to be able to beat Gunther, who has been on? If it wasn't for Roman Reigns' run, Gunther would have the most historic run right now. He's already shattered all the IC title records with where he's at. So maybe they give him a little break with how much he's been on. But all I know is I don't think I'm even going to say more so, even though I'm a Cody crybaby, even more than Cody, I think Sammy deserves his championship more than anybody else who's trying to fight for one. He made the bloodline great during the summer when a lot of people were really starting to wonder what direction the bloodline was going in. He made that happen. The chair shot across the world. He went into a little lull after Mania, as anybody does with a stacked roster. But to me, I think Sammy gets this one. I think it's going to be one of the best matches of the night, as Alex mentioned at the top. So, Tones, back to you. You're a huge Sami Zayn fan. What do you see coming out of this IC title?
Yeah, I gave my kudos to this match as well earlier. I think it's going to be a really good one. The thing is, wrestling, nice guys oftentimes finish at the bottom. We saw it with Kofi Kingston. We saw it before with Sami Zayn. We see it all the time with Kevin Owens. We see it with The Miz. I love Sammy. I'm a big Sammy guy. But to me, the only way Gunther loses this is if they have plans to elevate his storylines into the main title picture. If they want to push him towards the main title, I think there's a possibility he loses this match. But with all the smoke and mirrors going on with the Bloodline, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk's going to be back in the main title picture whenever he gets back. He's kind of setting himself up where he can be open versus The Rock. He can be open versus McIntyre. He can be open versus Rollins. Punk's making himself very available right now. I find it hard to believe that now's the time they're going to want to place Gunther in the main title picture. For that reason, I see Gunther retaining. Sami Zayn deserves a belt, very much so. I agree with you. Hell, I'd have him win. I'm going to be rooting for him. But I know how the WWE works, and this has Gunther written all over it.
All right, Marcel.
All right, y'all. Remember last year who they was pumping up to eventually win that championship? It was Chad Gable. When him and Sammy had that matchup on Raw to determine who was going to win it, and everybody was upset because they preferred Chad Gable to be up in that position. Now they got Chad Gable acting like what was Rocky's coach in the movie? What was the old gentleman?
Well, and it was Mickey. Mickey's the older guy. Yes,
and so that's what they got Chad Gable acting like. So Chad Gable's going to play a huge role in how this match finishes. He either is going to help Sammy or he's going to be the reason why he loses. So I'm going to go out on a wild take and say he helped Sammy get it done. So I'm going to go with Sammy to get it done this time. But I personally feel Chad Gable should have been in that position. That's just me.
Well, and two things there. Mark Henry he thinks his match of the year was Chad Gable versus Gunther, even higher than Will Ospreay versus Takada. So that's how good that match was on Raw a few months back when Gable's family was there and we saw the tears. And on top of that, if Chad Gable does help Sammy win, just like in Rocky 3, you got to return the favor. Chad's going to want that opportunity back. So maybe that's how you spin Chad and Sammy. Maybe Chad goes heel there or something, or maybe Sammy does. I'm not sure. But this is a very intriguing one to me because it seems easy on paper. I guarantee you Gunther beats his ass all over that Philadelphia arena for a good 10 to 15 minutes. And Sammy's beaten and beaten there, and nobody gives him a shot in the world at first.
Yeah, I could see that happening. And let's remember, too, somebody could retain, and they could easily lose it on the following Raw or SmackDown where there's always a lot of wild stuff that happens, too. So maybe like Marcel's point, Chad Gable was hyped up. He's going to play a big part in that match. Whether Sammy wins it because of Gable or loses it because of Gable could turn around and challenge for the same belt in the following week, whether it's Sammy or Gunther who wins. So I'm interested to not only see how that match goes, but the coming week or so after that match, if Gable and still has a big involvement with that storyline.
Well, speaking of something that's just been played out to the fullest, I don't know if a Money in the Bank has ever made it this far and been toyed around so much, really. I'm going to throw this right in the middle because we've hit a good amount of predictions so far, and then we'll talk about Drew Seth because that's where a lot of people think this might happen. Marcel, I'll start with you. Does not Drew McIntyre, does Damian Priest attempt a cash-in? And if so, what match, and will it be successful or not?
All right. So you said you don't know how long they actually played around with this. Remember Seth Rollins going in the WrestleMania, was it 31?
Yeah, in 2015 with Lesnar and Reigns, yep.
And then he came out of nowhere and cashed in. They're going to try to play the same thing, and a lot of people expect it to be on Drew. What if he try to cash in on Cody? That is the thing nobody thinking about. Cody actually gets it done. He gets his moment, and then Damian Priest music hit, and boom.
That
out of nowhere.
That would be the heel move of a century.
Yes. And now guess what? Everybody looking forward to the night after Raw, the Raw at the Mania. I'm serious. I actually want to see that. Trust me. I want to see it. I want to see the reaction for the fans and everybody going completely berserk because Cody got it done, and then his moment gets snatched away from him because of Damian Priest. That's what I want to see.
And let's be honest, it doesn't matter if it was Damian Priest or a Pebble. If somebody cashes in and neither Roman or Cody are champs, the wrestling community world is going to blow up. Alex, you kind of chimed in on that. Are you going as bold as that with Damian, or do you think they keep it a little calmer?
I think he's going to have a cash in, but I think he's going to cash in the match that you were hyping up next, the Drew McIntyre Seth Rollins match. I think he tries to cash in against McIntyre, who ultimately will win, in my opinion. Just it's gonna be just a slaughter, in my opinion, just because of Seth not being focused on this match. And I think that Damian Priest tries to cash in on Drew, and Drew just he kicks his head off, and it's a failed cash in.
Tones, whose boat are you more in? You might even have a third option or a third pitch here as MLB just opened. Shout out to them. But where are you going? You going with Marcel's fastball, Alex's changeup, or you got a curveball for us?
I think Priest is going to try and cash in. Like, you know how they always do the fake cash-ins? You'll hear their music play. They'll come out a little bit, yada, yada, yada. I think that's going to happen Sunday when it's Roman versus Cody. And then I think the bloodline's just going to destroy him to an abyss. I think he's going to come out there. Then it'll kind of create maybe a little bit of a bloodline and Judgment Day type thing because, you know, that match needs a little bit more of outside involvement. So I think he's going to try and make his presence felt there. And I think, you know, Solo is going to step up to him and maybe say, hey, the hell are you doing here, my man? Not today. I don't think we see a cash in ultimately. At Mania, I think we see an attempted cash-in where he results in getting his ass beat. And down the road, I think they're going to save – because Mania is going to be great regardless. I think they're going to save the Money in the Bank cash-in for a month. 4 to 6 weeks from now when wrestling's kind of in its dead period, in its downtime a little bit, they need some storyline rejuvenating. I think they're going to use that Money in the Bank like a, shot in the arm, a shot of adrenaline, get some fans back or get some storyline involvement with that. I don't think we see it at Mania.
That's the fun part about this. It could be so many different things, whether it's here or not. I'm going to go with, since CM Punk and Drew have been going at it the most, I'm going to say CM Punk distracts Drew McIntyre in some way, shape, or form, which creates Seth Rollins doing the stomp to Drew. Seth's going to cover Drew McIntyre, and CM Punk will ruin that pinfall, and then he'll go away because he can't really do much physically. So he's going to kind of try to screw both guys, in my opinion. Then we'll end up with a Claymore from McIntyre to Seth Rollins. As they're beaten and battered, he pins them. Priest will definitely come out. And as much, I'm going to be boring here because the chaos sounds so much more fun. I think Damian's going to think he has it locked up. Seth Rollins gets pissed off at Drew, pulls off the stomp on him. Damian Priest thinks he has it in the bag, as I mentioned. All of a sudden, Drew McIntyre, because he's been a beast and deserves it, he hits him with a Claymore too, takes out both. See you later, Damian Priest. See you later, Seth Rollins. Drew McIntyre finally gets his huge WrestleMania moment with the crowd because a lot of people forget it. I'm going to give Sasha Banks, Bayley, Edge, Randy Orton credit here as well. These people carried us through COVID when there was not shit on TV, no sports.
Otis.
Yeah, no, nothing. Yeah, shout out to, they took his Money in the Bank faster than you could say faster than that Chiefs guy drove down the road the other day. But it was like going on, and I really do think that Drew McIntyre is going to have a beast moment, and he's going to come out totally on top. People will be pissed that the Money in the Bank was wasted, yada yada, and we'll see where it goes from there. But I like Marcel's idea the best because the world, Twitter, everything be blown up like crazy. Since we kind of predicted and went into there, though, for whoever didn't give their prediction, is everyone in agreement that Drew McIntyre is going to get this title?
Yep, Drew's winning.
Yeah, I think so. But one other thing that crossed my mind just real quick. What if to really set up the Rock Roman wins, Rock bottoms in, and then Priest cash in on Roman? That would be hilarious. And the ultimate boo on boo on boo. The crowd would ultimately hate that. But just imagine that, because we know next WrestleMania it will be Rock versus Roman in the main event. But yeah, give me Drew. Seth is really good at losing, not in a bad way, but he's a good loser. He loses some big matches, and nothing against him. He always puts the other guy over in doing so. Not that McIntyre needs to go more over than what he is, but again, daddy, mommy life. Him and Becky got to go home for a little bit. Their contracts are coming up. They got a lot to think about. I think they both lose their title matches.
Alex, how impressed have you been with the heel McIntyre run?
He's been phenomenal. That last promo that he cut in the funeral home, I guess you can say, that was top notch.
Look in my eyes. What do you see?
He lives in Tampa, by the way. Shout out to Drew for being a Tampa resident.
Yeah, that right there put it over, and I was just like, Drew deserves it without a doubt.
Well, going back to that, I thought CM Punk got him good when he said, "I don't need somebody else's name on my shirt to sell." But then I think Drew got him when he said, you talk about how you're sober society and all you do is spend time in rehab. So I think they both killed it on that one. And there's a good try, because by SummerSlam, Punk will be back. I hope we get some surprises, which we'll get to in a minute. If anybody has any returns off the table, we already mentioned a couple with the Truck, Cena, Stone Cold, amongst other things. Rikishi's name has been brought up. There's younger Bloodline members. We haven't seen
DiBiase Jr.
Yeah, we haven't seen Sheamus in a while. There's plenty of people to go around, but I want to get the tables really quick and get to the 6-team match. To clarify for anybody that doesn't know, because there is some confusion, are we getting separate tag champions at the end of this thing, or is it all fighting for one still?
From what I've been hearing, that's what it sounds like. So the finish apparently is somebody's going to grab the Raw tag team titles, and then the other team is going to grab the SmackDown tag team titles at the same time. This way they can separate it. I've been hearing this over and over again. So
Alex, we'll start with you. I'm going to root for R-Truth like crazy. Do you see him coming down with one of those, and where's your head at if it is two teams to prevail?
Absolutely. Awesome Truth deserves the title. I would love to see R-Truth and The Miz get a little bit of a run, even if it was a short run. And then I guess the other group that I'd like to see would be what's their Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. What are they called?
New Catch Republic.
Yeah, I would love to see them walk away with like the SmackDown titles.
And hey, that's new blood there. Jeremy in the chat he put his, don't forget, at Cleve and Me on Twitter had DIY taking down one of them, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. I'm going to go with Awesome Truth because I don't care if it's short or long, as Alex mentioned. I just want to see them win. I heard I was also listening to Busted Open. What if R-Truth says get the tables and they go under the ring and all of a sudden Devon and Bubba Ray pop out, or they're trying to grab the ladder and the Hardys come out, because Matt Hardy was seen at a WWE show. Could be surprises within that. Marcel, who are your winners?
Yeah, I'm even though I can't stand the foolishness that R-Truth been doing, but I'm going with R-Truth and Miz. They definitely putting those titles down. As for the SmackDown side, I can't stand this group for the life of me, but I'm going with Grayson Waller and Austin Theory to win the SmackDown tag team titles. I don't know why, I just feel that way because you got to have one babyface group and one heel group win, so that's what I'm going with.
Tones, the teams that have not been mentioned to win, the Judgment Day, who are the champions, Finn and Damian, and then Xavier Woods and Kofi are out there. Can you see either of those teams winning it? If you're going to scrap both of them, though, where's your winners going?
I could always see the New Day winning it, right? They win it like every other time. I feel like a coin flip, you hear the New Day. Well, at least back in the day, they did or whatnot. Judgment Day, I think they're going to have enough glimmer this weekend with Rhea Ripley coming out on top. I think it's time for R-Truth and The Miz to have some fun together. I'd like to see them win. I think they will win one of the belts. Hey, if they do get split, I think it's a good idea to split him too. Let me say that first and foremost. I don't think the WWE tag team championships should be an undisputed thing. Each show deserves a tag team champion. I'd love to see the Miz and R-Truth get one of those tag team champions. And why not? Give me I'm not really sure who I'd like to see the other if we had to pick two separate winners. Maybe Gargano and Ciampa. If I had to pick, you never know. But fun stuff. Give me Truth and Miz if we could only pick one, and then I'll pivot to Gargano and Ciampa. But you can never be surprised if the New Day wins any sorts of tag team titles. Let's be honest. And Kofi always deserves a belt around his waist. He's an incredible talent who's done so much for the company. So wouldn't be mad if they did.
All right, this is what we're going to do since I appreciate these guys have been hanging around with me for an hour listening to my big head talk. I appreciate it. So I want to get into the Usos a few minutes. So to get to that matchup, I'm going to give you each a multiple people match, and you break it down and give us your winner. So I'll assign each right now. Mr. Alex Ruiz, you will get Latino World Order, Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar and Dirty Dom. Give us a little detail in a few minutes, and then you'll give us the winner. Mr. Marcel, I'm going to give you Bianca, Jade, and Naomi versus Damage Control, which will be Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. And then Tones, I'm going to give you the Philly Street Fight, Bobby Lashley, Angelo Dawkins, and Montez Ford versus the Final Testament of Karrion Kross, Razor, and Akam, who came back as formerly known as AOP. So, since, Alex, I gave you the first honors, I will ask you, LWO, the Latino, the Luchadora, history, Rey Mysterio. Is it going against his son again, but not one-on-one? Rey will get Dragon Lee. Dirty Dom will get Santos. Where's your thoughts on this match?
I'm going Dirty Dom and Santos Escobar, quite honestly, because I think this will lead to a match. I'm not exactly sure when. I don't know if they'll be able to drag this out to WrestleMania, but I think this could turn into a father versus son round 2, and then we'll turn it into a hair versus mask match.
Wow, I love that. That is why we have you on right there. I freaking would love to see Dom get cut up to a little baby boy like he looked when it was the Eddie Guerrero versus Rey match 4 to see who gets custody of Dom back in the day, as we all remember that storyline. Marcel, bring the juice with the 3-on-3. You have Jade Cargill's WWE in-ring debut outside of the Royal Rumble.
Okay, this matchup, I know a lot of people was berserk because of who is teaming up with who, but this is the one matchup where I did not want to happen, and the reason why is because Asuka keeps losing at WrestleMania. I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of it. Then you bring Jay, you put up with Bianca, and you put up with Naomi. Bianca has a winning streak. She has not lost at WrestleMania. So I feel like it's a no-win situation. Unfortunately, I'm going with Bianca then because Jay just got there. So you can't have Jay lose. But some way, if you really, because a lot of people really, this is what they wanted. They wanted Bianca and Jade this year. I said, no, you can't do that. You can't do Jade and Bianca right now. So you wanted to build up to it. So if you really wanted damaged goods to go over, how about you have them, because obviously this is to protect Jade, because obviously Jade just got this, so they didn't want to have a one-on-one match. What if you have Bianca walk out on Naomi and Jade, and then Asuka and them get the victory? This way you can set up Jade and Bianca. But like I said, I'm going with Jade and Bianca and Naomi to get the victory. That's just me.
I love how you added that in there, though, because that brings more spice to it. Everyone thinks it's going to be for Naomi, Bianca, and Jade. Nah, not so fast. Maybe we'll get a little freak action. Tones Philly Street Fight. We have the Pride versus the Final Testament 3-on-3. How excited are you for a street fight match being at Mania, and who comes out champion?
Yeah, this is going to be a fun match. I got a little bit of a theory. I think the final Testament wins and actually it ends up being the end of Dawkins and Ford as a tag team. I think that Lashley and Ford, or Lashley turns heel. I think he's going to be upset at the loss, and I think they're going to end up taking it out on Montez Ford. Him and Dawkins might end up teaming together. I could see Lashley and Dawkins becoming a tag team, and Ford goes on his own, ends up getting a run down the line. But I think they've been doing a good job of building up the final testament to this point. I want to say Authors of Pain came back in the early winter, around late November, late December, somewhere around there. And they've kept adding to their storyline here on out. And I know there's been rumors of the Street Profits breaking up for years now. They want to push Ford as a solo guy. I think, it starts cracking the night of Mania. Could see some fireworks after the match. Could see Lashley and Dawkins jumping Ford, propelling Ford to be a solos guy, and Dawkins, Lashley stick around in the tag team division that they'll try and build up again when the belts do go back to separate belts and separate shows.
I love it. There's 3 matches right there with multiple people broken down well and some fun predictions in there. Let me talk to you real quick because my boy LA Knight, saw him at SummerSlam. The crowd just kept chanting his name. He won the battle royal there, and as he's a Slim Jim champ. He's everything right now, but he can't have a championship yet. It's okay. I'll get over it. AJ Styles is supposed to have new walkout music, by the way. It's supposed to be more of a heel setting tone type. So be on the look for that as well. I think LA Knight goes over here. He gets this big win. And finally, then I think at SummerSlam is maybe when you get that Logan Paul versus LA Knight, where it's the megastar versus the YouTube star. And you could have that be a big showdown at SummerSlam and save that. So I think that's why LA Knight's going to prevail. Now, my only thing is AJ Styles, I don't know his exact record, but I feel like he loses more often than not at Mania, especially over the past few years. I know he lost to Undertaker, COVID. I know he lost to Tones. The Mania we went to, didn't he lose to Randy Orton, I believe?
Who, Styles?
AJ Styles,
yeah, he did. That was the match with the light, ruined by the light. Remember, the light kept shining in fans' eyes.
After what Ronda, we won't get into Ronda Rousey. I'm not even going to give her a breath of time actually on this one. But that was the main event of that Mania with Becky and Charlotte as well. But I'm going to go with LA Knight on the win. Does anybody disagree and think AJ could pull off the upset before we move on to Usos?
Nope. LA Knight got the victory.
Yeah, AJ Styles is, he's used to putting on good Mania matches, but taking Mania losses. LA Knight, they want to reward him for all he's done for the fans the past 18 to 24 months or so.
And J-Lo does correct me a little bit. I knew he beat Shinsuke. I forgot about AJ versus Shane McMahon. That was also an AJ Styles win. So he's probably around 500. Not too bad there. It just seems more lately. So we have the Usos to talk about and surprises that have not been mentioned yet. So if any of you guys have a return or a story that we really haven't gotten into, get that ready. But first, we're going to talk about Jay versus Jimmy Uso. I wanted to end with this because I think it is so cool where the Usos have came from. I always reference Busted Open Radio. Bubba Ray was talking about how when he came back with Devon to WWE, their main goal was to put over tag teams, the New Day, the Usos, Gallows and Anderson, amongst many other tag teams where they would have all these great matches with. And the Usos had, if people remember, they weren't always like this. They had more of that Hawaiian style. They were coming out with paint on their faces. And to me, where they have gone from then to now, even though that was fine, this is just so much greater. I think Jey Uso is honestly fine on his own. He will get back in the Bloodline storyline at some point, of course, but his song, I took a video of it at Monday Night Raw. Alex and Tones were there. Everybody was day one. McAfee gets up. Everybody is buying into Jay. And then Jimmy Uso, I know he's had his troubles and things have happened. I think he's very underrated, though. He helped this story become to what it was, too. As Marcel mentioned, he's screwed over so many times. Jay now is enough, finally enough. Last year, they were the main event of night one, defending tag titles. This year, they go off against each other. I'm going with my heart and my head. I think Jay comes out victorious. As Marcel said, he just got screwed too many times. Don't forget at SummerSlam, he did lose to Roman. People kind of forget in the main event that he lost. So I don't think he can really afford a loss here, but I think it will be over 30 minutes. You'll see a bunch of flying spots, super kicks. It's going to be the yeets and no yeets heard across the world. Yep. Alex, then Tones.
I think this is going to be. I've kind of gone back and forth on this one, quite honestly, but I think my heart says Jay, but I think my mind says Jimmy Uso is going to pull this one out. Something shady.
Does he get any help?
He does get help. He does get it. It could be Tama Tonga, quite honestly. It could be, Rikishi.
I give you credit for trying to pronounce that name because I would have screwed it up.
I don't really know, but I think that there's going to be a way that it's just going to be another mountain to climb, just like the way that's the same way that Cody Rhodes is climbing all these mountains and taking all these losses and getting beat up, in parking lots and so on and so forth, and whip with belts. I think Jay's gonna take another L here, but he's gonna find a way to overcome it down the road, though.
Okay, you kind of helped change my mind on maybe being sold on that. Tones.
Yeet.
No yeet.
No yeet.
Yeet.
No yeet.
Yeet.
No yeet. I think that will probably be the most sign at there'll be a lot of we want Cody signs.
It's gonna be that the crowd gonna be crazy because like you said, half the crowd gonna say yeet, the other side gonna say no yeet. It's gonna be nuts. Alex, you enjoy yourself, bro. I'm telling you, man. Have fun, man. Have fun.
Mania crowds are like no other. I mean, there's a lot of great crowds out there, but Mania crowds, oof. And Philly fans, they're
gonna let you know if you're bad or good. They're gonna let you know.
I hope no one's dressed as Santa Claus because that motherfucker will get booed.
Maybe Paul Heyman comes out as Santa Claus. Really quick before we get to our closeouts, because we're in overtime here, and give your final surprise with your walkout. Wow, I just blanked on exactly what I had in mind before that. Holy shit, what the hell was I going to say? This big head has not much in it, apparently, because I literally just lost.
That's for sure. That's confirmed. Were you going to ask us about surprises?
Yeah, I was, but what were we just talking about?
Yeet.
Holy yeet and no yeet, and I had something to chime off that.
I think your brain went no yeet.
Yeah, well, I'm fried. My brain's fried. I'm on team yeet. I guess until I can think about it again. Any surprises that we haven't mentioned? Like, for example, Alex, also, I want to know, what are you most excited about going to? Have you been to Philly before? Have you been to Eagle Stadium? If so, how cool is this experience going to be for you outside of just the matches itself?
Well, no, it'll be my first time going to Philly, first time going to Lincoln Financial Field.
So, get a cheesesteak.
I probably will. As soon as I land, I'll probably head right to what's Jeans or something like that. I don't really know what it's called.
Go for it.
Yeah, but I'll probably indulge. No, I'm certainly looking forward to Philly. I'm counting down the minutes till I board my flight here in about 10 hours.
I thought you were going to say 10 minutes. I'm like, what are you doing? Alex is really in the airport hallway right now.
Yeah.
Do you have any other surprises we have not mentioned? Like, for example, you say the match on Sunday, me and you said over. I mean, how many things are we talking there? Because Roman and Cody can only do so much. I mean, you must have a lot going on in that match. Do you see the Avengers thing happening where it's John Cena, Stone Cold, all of Roman and Rock's former ghosts are coming back to help Cody?
Yeah, I think this is like I think this is gonna be Solo Sikoa, Jim. It might be maybe even like Jimmy and Jay like find a way to reunite afterwards because Rikishi gets involved and they kind of he gets back into the bloodline. But I think on the opposite side for Cody, you're right. I think it's John Cena. I think it's Stone Cold. I even think it's The Undertaker possibly making an appearance.
Wow. I've seen a thing where Hulk Hogan and Omos might have an impromptu match. I said they could save that. We don't need that one. But getting to it, I would love to see the Avengers thing. I keep watching this Avengers promo with Cody and Roman. I can't really get over it. Tones, do you have any surprises left that we have not mentioned?
I think we see Jason Kelsey. It's been rumored we are in Philadelphia. Obviously,
Hey.
obviously the Kelseys are gung ho for wrestling. Can't stand those sons
God
of a
damn, now
bitch.
they're gonna come in oh jeez.
They're both great players, Hall of Fame. Well, Travis is a Hall of Famer. Jason, I call him the
He's proud.
Hall of Very Good, I call him. But either way, two awesome talents there. I think we could see a Jason Kelsey spot in Philadelphia. I think I could see him doing something. We've seen a lot of football guys in the ring before. Rob Gronkowski being a championship holder for a brief time, the 24/7 champ belt. So give me Jason Kelsey. Also, you guys alluded to the trucks. No one mentioned that Brock Lesnar has been spotted on plenty of trucks.
Yeah.
And
Please not again.
And WWE restored his roster page. If you look up Brock Lesnar on WWE, he's back on the roster. He disappeared for about a month. Now he's back. There's a lot of connecting of the dots here. Again, they screwed it. He should be Paul Heyman's announcee. And let's remember this. The Rock is going to be going away after Mania for a period of time. He's not going to be around for a while.
Yep, he's got a movie.
Exactly. What's going to need to happen? Someone is going to have to fulfill the rivalry with potentially Roman Reigns. Or if Roman goes away for a little bit, Paul Heyman's going to need something to do. We've seen Paul Heyman talking with other talents in the back. What was he talking to them about? A potential Brock Lesnar return they could spin it as. So I'm seeing a lot of smoke, and usually where there's smoke, there's fire.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, Marcel and others, mentioned some good stuff with Stone Cold, John Cena on the trucks. Lesnar was directly behind The Rock in his segment on the truck, and I've seen people posting pictures driving on the highway spotting Brock Lesnar on not only WWE trucks, WrestleMania trucks.
Mm-hmm.
With him being back on the roster, with him being on all these trucks, Paul Heyman Hall of Fame weekend, there's a lot of stuff going on that could include Lesnar. And let's not forget, Braun Strowman has been out a while. If Gunther does win, maybe Strowman comes. Big man there. You never know.
Sheamus?
Yeah, Sheamus, Charlotte Flair. The list goes on and on and on. Charlotte might be a little ways away from competing still. You never know. Hell, they could have Ric Flair's 80th last match. Him and Hulk Hogan could inch their way out to the damn ring.
If you're gonna have a graveyard match, we do Ric Flair versus who would it even be? I don't even know who.
Chris Benoit.
Screw it. No, Jesus. Ric Flair versus Vince McMahon. Whoever loses gets literally buried for life. Not actually a storyline. Ric Flair, Vince McMahon, whoever loses, we bury them 6 feet under, literally, not figuratively. Marcel, before we get to your final comment, I'll start with you with this. I finally remember my point since Tones was talking about it a little bit. Roman is talking for Paul Heyman. Good choice, bad choice, or it just fit right?
Weak Hall of Fame class, by the way.
You know what? I really don't have a problem with it. I mean, he's been rolling with him. Like, let's give it credit. Roman Reigns is not in the position he's in right now without Paul Heyman's assistance. Paul Heyman, him teaming up with Paul Heyman has done wonders for Roman Reigns. So him inducting him to the Hall of Fame is a bravo job. I really don't have no problem with it.
And do you have any final surprises? You've mentioned a bunch. You've unloaded the tank today, and I appreciate you. Anything left?
I'm standing on what I said. I'm going with your guy and Stone Cold to pull up. John Cena, Stone Cold, and Tom Patons. You know what? Brock Lesnar might pull up as well because he sure has been popping up all these trucks as of late. I've been catching that as well. So Brock, Stone Cold, John Cena, could be others that pull up, but I'm just watching to see. I can't wait.
I'll tell you right now, if we get a stare down in the middle of the ring between Stone Cold and The Rock, finally after all these years, and they're just face to face, I don't even need them to do much. I need a couple double middle fingers and an attempted rock bottom, and then I could be just happy with that and living in paradise.
I'm sorry to cut you off, man.
No, I talk too much.
Expect the stunner. I hope Rock is still backflip. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I hope, you know what, we might get an attitude adjustment. Screw that, it's the FU. We might get F5 by Lesnar, as mentioned. There's so many great things to be going on, but Boys, you've taken me too far. You've already done over an hour. We're close to an hour and a half of this thing. I appreciate all the fans like Jeremy for staying in. He says Conor McGregor, we haven't mentioned his name, could be potentially. He keeps drinking, so his UFC career ain't going to take off maybe much more, but maybe WWE, because remember, him and Chandler called him out on a Monday Night Raw. I was so confused by that, but
a weird name I've seen spotted in Philadelphia today as well. I'm not sure the role he'd have, but I heard Spike Dudley was spotted in Philadelphia today, actually.
ECW.
Yeah, you never know. There could be a ECW spot with him and potentially others. But yes, Spike Dudley is in Philadelphia. People could confirm that.
And truthfully, at the end of the day, as we get out of here, Alex, I'm going to go around the room. Not who will win, a want. The last night, we're on our second year of this, Cody versus Roman. Who will you truly be cheering for in that matchup?
Well, I certainly will be rooting for Cody. Quite honestly, I'm a fan of The Rock and Roman Reigns and what they're doing right now, how they're reinvigorating The Rock's career, even though his career really never ended on a positive note in WWE. He kind of was forced out because of injury. But I just want to see Cody win it, and that way we can kind of move on, like Marcel said, and kind of get other storylines going well here.
Marcel, are you rooting for Roman, or are you just rooting for Cody because you want it to end?
I'm just rooting for a good match and a good story. That's all I'm rooting for.
Amen.
I just want to be entertained. Like I say, I got Cody winning, so that's me. I just want to be entertained. I want to see everybody pull up, as what we've been saying, and I want to see if The Rock is still backflip. That's all.
Tones, ending with you. When you rank Rock next week on a 1 to 10 scale for how he did in ring, what number do you think out of 10 you will probably put?
I'd probably say a 9. I think he'll be sharp. I think he'll be very good. I think he'll give throwbacks to the old Rock. But let's not forget, he has been out of the ring for a little bit. He showed some flaws his first couple times back in the ring the past couple months or so. It takes a while, but if anybody could do it, it's The Rock. I don't think it's a perfect sighting. I think it's a really good sighting. And you know what? I got the perfect solution on who should really induct Paul Heyman. Let's bring back everybody's favorite, Ryback.
Oh, my God. Well, this is a perfect Ryback. I hope his candy ass oh, my God. He can fight Ric Flair. Him and Ric Flair could do a last man standing in the back parking lot behind a Taco Bell for all I care. But, boys, we're into the end of it.
Hey, he was a Heyman guy, though. The list goes on and on. Cesaro was a Heyman guy. The Dudley boys were Heyman guys. Heidenreich was a Heyman guy.
I know, right? I remember Heidenreich.
Heidenreich. And remember, Curtis Axel, who was part of the B team, who was Uncle Howdy's partner, Uncle Heidi. Maybe Curtis Axel returns this weekend or whenever Uncle Heidi returns and helps him kind of keep Bray.
Has anybody seen the Bray Wyatt Peacock documentary yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet, but I heard it's something. That's all I know.
It's going to be a tearjerker for sure.
And can't wait for that one. But yeah, keep in mind Ryback, Curtis Axel, Cesaro.
All right, that's enough of that. Cleve was not here, but he appreciates y'all. He was telling me that as well. Alex, enjoy your time tomorrow in Philadelphia. First and foremost, you
saved a lot of brain cells without Cleve.
Oh, man.
Oh my! He's gonna come back at you twice. Don't forget, it's usually hit second who loses that one.
So yeah, don't worry. His mic's usually choppy and filled with cigarette smoke.
Okay, Alex, enjoy Philadelphia. I'll be hitting you up. Send me great pictures. Thank you for joining us, Alex.
Will do. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Hey, Roo.
And Tones is just going full heel mode. We might not get him out of here next. Marcel, are you going to have any wrestling content the rest of the week? Let the people know if so.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing the prediction video. I'm going to also talk about what I thought about the whole thing with CM Punk's interview and then Edge trying to, Adam Copeland clapping back.
Real quick, thumbs up on, since we're down to 3, and you mentioned it, thumbs up to both guys, thumbs down to both guys. Where do you stand on that?
Oh, I'm in the middle, man. It's, like I said, CM Punk said his piece. He said what he had to say. But then, like I said, AEW, you know how they get. It's like they react to everything. And it's like, oh, woe is me and all this stuff. like I said, look, I'm one of the people that you know how I am. I'm a hardcore AEW guy, but I also know I call out the flaws when I see stuff that's not right. I call it out. I'm not like the people who love AEW and they can do no wrong. Same thing with WWE. I call it out. If I'm not feeling it, call it out. That's all. But for some reason, people that work at AEW, Tony Khan and company, they think everything they do is great. I'm like, everything you're doing is not great. Look at the ratings. Look at the people pulling it up. It's about putting butts in seats. You got to keep people invested. Storylines matter. Yes, you got the great wrestling. The majority of what they put on in the ring is great. I love it. But it's the storyline that gets you invested in what they're doing. Why the heck is wrestler A versus wrestler B happening? We need a story behind it. Or they say, oh, this person's not like. Now, listen, from what they've been doing, like I said, the last 3 weeks before the 2 weeks we got was spot on. Everything at the Revolution was great. But these last 2 weeks have kind of been subpar. You know what I mean? That's just me.
And Marcel, thank you for, again, people on his YouTube, on Twitter, KC4L Wrestling Takes. It's a great outlet. We really appreciate you joining, and thanks again, my man, for giving us your time.
Man, thank you. Go ahead, Tom. You was going to say something. I'll cut you off, man. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying.
No, Tones.
I love Marcel, man. Always a great time with you, brother.
Hey, look, it's always a pleasure to be on here with you, brothers. I'm telling you, I appreciate the invite, Joe. I told you I was going to try to make it because I wasn't able to make it the first one, but I said I definitely got to make it for this one. You know, I appreciate the invite so much, y'all. Thank you.
Oh, and we appreciate you. We truly thank you. You're a wrestling family member of ours, and we always thinking about you, hoping for the best. And thank you for joining us tonight, and hopefully post-Mania as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. And then Tones, as your last comment with the Bucketeers being a part of the show, we had a bunch of great guests coming from them and other places as well. What do you have coming out? And then respond to the way he's an AEW head, he said, but he keeps it level-headed. Respond to his take.
I agree. I'm with Marcel. I think me and him are similar. I think we like both brands of wrestling. I think we're not afraid to call out when one has flaws. Obviously, it seems like AEW has been having more than WWE of late, but it's a stretch and streak that goes back and forth seemingly. But yeah, I mean, I think AEW has done some wrongs of late. I don't mind what they did with Edge because to me, CM Punk, yes, he said his piece, but you're going to expect a rebuttal.
And Edge did not. I thought at first there was rumors that Tony Khan told him to say Edge. That came from the heart, so I was fully with it at days.
Exactly. A lot of people Khan said it wasn't Khan, it was Edge. And let's not forget, Edge went to AEW for a reason, right? He loves WWE. He wanted something new. So I don't have a problem with that back and forth banter. These are both professional wrestling companies. You're going to get that. What I more so have a problem with, and I like Tony Khan, he's a good person, but he just sometimes is a little much, right? You don't need to always announce there's a big announcement and then you're really announcing some fluff. I mean, that draws a lot of people away. Oh, big announcement. Oh, yeah, next week's show is going to be called Wacky Wednesday. Oh, okay, that's a big announcement. Not really. And that might have not happened before, but I think you get the point. So
I know it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, what the F, that gif? Like
exactly. So I think, I think both have their flaws. However, lately AEW displaying them a little bit more, but not going to stop me from watching AEW as well as they do provide some good wrestling. But I'm just looking forward to Mania in general, and actually kind of cool. Not that it'll really matter, but when Mania ends Saturday, I think that's when AEW will actually be going on the air. They have a special.
Really?
Yeah, they got like a late night start time that night. So kind of cool seeing a lot of wrestling companies come together this weekend. I've seen Mustafa Ali and Rhino battling right now in Philadelphia in Impact. So a lot of OGs, a lot of special moments WrestleMania weekend. And one of my favorite things is always the Friday night. I'm going to be honest with you. The Hall of Fame, the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I think I enjoy that more than a lot of people.
Can we just have the Battle Royal mean something in the future? That's all I'm asking.
It should mean at the very least, like, how Money in the Bank, you win a main title shot? That should get you either an Intercontinental or US or like a mid-tier belt title shot, in my opinion. And my last words is, man, is it going to be awesome seeing Ryback introduce Paul Heyman into the Hall of Fame.
Why
That'll
are
be
you
really
so
cool.
all over that? Did you see him on social media or something? You're all
No,
over
I'm
it.
just messing around. But honestly, I think it would be kind of cool. Not that it would ever happen, but like if all of the top 10 to 15 Heyman guys in the history came out and, just stood there.
How much are you going to be taking in of tomorrow?
I'll have it. I'll be taking it in. It's the beginning of Mania, and there's always vibes are high, so I'll be taking it in. I'll be enjoying it for sure. But the Buccateers, yeah, Stunner crapped the bed. He said he was
he did talk.
He said he got busy, and then Gene got caught working late tonight, so he said he'll be on a post-Mania reaction.
That's good because the show probably would have went another 40.
Yeah, I love Gene, but my man could talk. So, and J-Lo,
love you, Gene.
J-Lo's
Fuck what you heard.
J-Lo's always a great guy as well. Good competitor, good heart over there. So I got a really good team of guys over there, and a lot of them are wrestling guys. So never a bad thing.
Yep, and thank you again. You are obviously a main part of our tripod here. Shout out to Cleve, he'll be coming back next week. We'll have post-Mania. It will be back to podcast form, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. This will be live.
Feed me more.
And that's it. Thank you, Toast, for joining us. So next week when we get to the post-game show where we have Tampa Tones, Cleveland, Buck What You Heard, and so much more. Alex, again, have a great time in Philadelphia. I am going to be watching all the events starting from the show before. Don't forget on the Cock Network with Cole and McAfee leading into SmackDown where we have the Battle Royal. And we get the Hall of Fame after on the Cock with Paul Heyman. I cannot wait for his speech. Then into Saturday, NXT Stand and Deliver. Not enough time to predict that. Cannot wait to watch it. Then night 1 of Mania, going into night 2 on Sunday. Everybody, for that being my podcast crew members, our faction, Cleve out. This is me. God bless. Good night. Enjoy the show. This and the skeptical of them all. WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia.